A few episodes back, we talked about the OnePlus 12 being released over in China.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we have a date for when this model will come to the States, and that is January 23rd. Once again,
Wow.
I won't go into any of the specs, but nevertheless, at least we know when to look out for this model. So I'm pretty excited. Evidently, a lot of people felt like the OnePlus 11 was underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how true that was. I felt like it was a decent phone. I know there
I
were
thought it
some
was
things that
decent,
were
yeah.
missed, and and the fact that the price wasn't insane. So
All right,
but
well, we'll have to see how
there you
that comes out. Well, that's literally like a month from now, so like 30 days.
yeah.
So, all right, cool. A few Apple topics here. Analyst Jeff Poo from Heighten International Securities rumors that the iPhone 16 Pro will have a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera, which in turn means that you would be able to shoot ProRes with the lens. There's also a chance that we may see all of the lenses by 2025, which would be the iPhone 17, be at least 48 megapixels as well. So we can possibly expect that.
It's kind of funny, just considering what we were talking about on our last episode with the Pixel 8 Pro and how the ultra-wide astrophotography works.
Yes, that's true.
Yep. It's kind of funny how that works, though, because for a time there, Apple was a company that really wouldn't venture out too far to upgrade megapixels.
Yeah.
And how it seems like they're really starting to, pick up the pace and upgrade more and more each year. Obviously, these are rumors,
Yeah, they
but Pooh is pretty reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with Pooh Bear, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's confused right now, but yeah.
Anyway, that's still cool though.
Yeah, still Poo. With iOS 17.3 beta just being released, a couple of new features have been added to the mix, and one is that you can now do collaborations with your family members and friends to make a playlist on Apple Music. The other is stolen device protection, and this is on 17.3 beta 1, I believe, and I actually have it. JD doesn't. He's off the betas for right now, but I've been testing it out, and immediately when I upgraded the phone, I was met with, do you want to have this on? And I clicked a few things and said yes. Anyway, this essentially adds another barrier to the security of your iPhone, where pretty much every important information cannot be accessed without Face ID. However, unlike it was before, you will no longer be able to have your passcode typed in if Touch or Face ID are not accepted. Certain actions, like changing your Apple ID, password, or turning off Find My, require not only Face ID authentication, but also a 1-hour security delay. Apple's really amping up the security for iPhone, so I'm actually pretty in favor of this. So,
what was that part you said about Face ID not working? You couldn't type in your code? Well, I didn't understand that part.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So basically, if your Face ID doesn't register or Touch ID isn't registered, you can't type in your passcode to access any of that stuff. You can only utilize Face ID or Touch ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Which would mean that if the sensors were damaged, then you would actually have to go to Apple to have them replaced, and then you could access the information. Wow.
Which,
I mean, that's kind of like thinking about it is if the touchscreen was busted. Yes, I could.
I mean, at that point, if the touchscreen is busted, then you obviously need to take it to Apple anyway. And this that kind of comes in line with, like, it would be great if Apple actually had the power button as a Touch ID, but that's another topic for another day. So,
yeah, that's something that we like to harp on.
We do.
Yeah. But in either case, so that was actually it as far as those updates. Wow.
Yep.
Did it say anything about when it was expected to? I know Zolotech probably has his estimation of when 17.3 is going to come out, but
I would say probably in the next couple of
end
weeks.
Of January? Oh, okay.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, we just had 17.2, so I wasn't sure how soon we would expect 17.3.
It might be by the end of January.
How many features? Yeah.
Probably no more than that, though, so, yeah.
Yeah, I would expect it before February, but then again, I don't watch their timeline, so who knows. A quick piece of information here is that starting December 18th, Mobvoi is rolling out WearOS 3 to their TicWatch 3 Pro. This is a model that was released back in 2020, And for those who are curious, the specific version of WearOS that's being released is 3.5. So check your watch. If you guys have that model, it should already be out. If not, it will be out soon, rolling out around. So,
No, not much to say about that, but it's good up.
I know you're not a WearOS wearer, so
no, I'm not aware of that. Now, this was actually confirmed by Spotify, but they are now using AI within the application to generate playlists. Essentially, how this works is you are supposedly supposed to go to the library tab and then click on Spotify AI. You will then be met with an average AI chat, kind of like ChatGPT, but in this case, you simply type the kind of playlist you want, and the AI will auto-generate it as fast as it can. For me, this is absolutely great. It's a great use of AI, and as a person who loves to listen to new music but still likes to stay relatively close to the similar genre, as a dubstep fan, I love that. I absolutely cannot wait to try this out. I don't think some people were mentioning that they haven't seen it yet, so I guess we'll just wait.
Is this for premium users only, I'm assuming?
I would assume it has to be for premium users. I mean, with the fact that, Spotify just got rid of a lot of their employees, so they're trying to cut back on a lot of their spending and their efficiency stuff, so it would make sense if they're going to try and put money for AI, then they're going to have to make it a premium thing. But, I have premium, so I will, update you if I find anything of this. But
interesting. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I mean, I actually had some fun with that on the imagery side of it with Pixel when you could generate the wallpaper.
Yes, that was pretty cool
with AI. So when you do it with playlists, that'll be pretty nifty. I mean, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's anything that's going to blow my mind away, but it's nice to have that just because, you type in certain things and kind of see what comes up. You can have, specific parameters on what the playlist is going to have in it, even, I would hope. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't think that they were going to do something like that, but then again, this is AI, so it really shouldn't surprise me.
It goes on a lot of different paths there for sure.
Applications
Yep.
Yep. Verizon is running a new promotion for those who subscribe to their 5G Home Plus internet plan. If you do so, you can receive an Xbox Series X free, along with a $100 Verizon gift card, as well as an option between a $200 Amazon gift card or an Amazon Echo Show, amounting to roughly $800 values. So,
jeez.
Some important things to note are this is an online-only offer. The sign-ups close January 3rd of 2024. And then to redeem the Xbox, you must do so 60 days after the sign-up or before April 3rd, whichever comes first. Obviously, there's only one per Verizon account or per order. And finally, you must stay with the internet subscription service for a total of 180 days. And for those who are wondering, the plan will run $80 a month or $45 if you are an eligible existing Verizon customer. So it's a pretty nifty deal there. Obviously, they're trying to entice people into their home internet service. But,
pretty desperate. That's almost shocking. Like, really making people get on that deal is pretty easy with those offers. So
the interesting thing is you really only want to do it if you're sure you have good connection, because here's the thing, you're relying on non-cable internet service provider for gaming.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where I'm kind
unsettling.
Of like, okay, maybe, but I guess if I'm going to get a free console and pay 188 days worth of service, okay, sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I
it's
guess
up to you guys.
I guess it technically would be worth it, because I feel like the payout that you would get from receiving those offers would be much more than actually those 3 monthly payments for the internet, wouldn't it?
$480, so a little over half of the value, but that's still 6 months, so kind of a little bit stuck there. So
a little bit, yeah.
It's almost like one of those things where you're actually kind of buying a phone through a carrier, and you have to stick with them, or else
basically,
you have to pay it outright.
Yes.
And they will notate that in the fine print that if you do leave, then you'll be subject to paying the full price of that Xbox, obviously. So,
Okay, interesting. Images of the Moto G2 and G35 have been leaked. These two will have two different pairs of colors. The 24 will offer dark blue and silver, and the 34 will offer dark blue and light blue. Other than the cameras, which is set to be a 50 megapixel quad camera setup, there really is nothing much else spec-wise that we know of just yet. We are also unsure of when these phones will release. Obviously, it's a safe bet to say they'll be released sometime next year, but we really can't be too sure on that. So,
did your wife make you put that topic in there?
No, I just did it out of the kindness of my heart.
There you go. Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
Well, I don't really have anything to comment on that as far as, I mean, I'll have to wait.
No, I didn't think you would.
Pan out. Yeah. Sorry.
It's all good.
I'm not the biggest fan of their baseline. Well, not that it's a base. Anything except for the Razr.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just how I see Motorola. It's kind of sad, but I mean, that's really why they keep their name out there, is because of the Razr, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're kind of unmotivating.
We got deals, right?
Yeah, we got deals. We have the Asus ROG Strix G17. This is actually this year's model, and it's got a few cool things on it. It's got the Ryzen 9 7845HX, and then 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM, a terabyte of SSD, and the NVIDIA RTX 4060 GPU. And it's going from $1,869 to $1,399 at Walmart. So not a massive deal, but definitely a pretty good cutback. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Discounted nearly 50% down from $150 to $80 are the Beats Studio Buds. Now, as far as it looks, the only color option that doesn't receive this discount is the Moon Gray. All other color variants will see that discount. So I haven't tried these ones out, but there you go.
I have a couple friends who've tried these out. They say they're pretty good. So
okay, cool.
Moving along to our main topics, Pixel is really hitting things off with security and such. According to Keyword, Google is implementing a way for users to identify problems and protect their devices even more. The first is what's called the Pixel Diagnostic app, which a user can launch and fully diagnose their device by simply dialing, pay attention carefully, asterisk pound asterisk pound 7287 pound asterisk pound asterisk on their phone app. This would, in short, help to check your device performance and such before taking it into a shop for repairs. And even after the repair, Google has made it so it will auto-diagnose your device to see if everything is working properly, which is a really nice detail there. Not only that, but Google has also renewed their repair manuals to better aid in repairing devices on your own. We know that they've also collaborated with iFixit, I think it was a couple of years ago, so you're able to utilize that a lot better. These are available in English and French, and Google says they will be creating manuals for newer and older devices in the coming months. So a lot more widespread support there as well, which is really great. So
I don't know if Riley is in that range, but a lot of us who used to mess around with, the smartphones in the early days, we used to punch in different codes to access settings on the smartphone. It's pretty cool. This is actually... Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you do remember that? Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny that they're actually bringing it about in that way versus like something that's, I don't know, somewhere in this software where we actually kind of have to dig, but it's not like. I guess it's pretty equivalent to having to type in those random characters. So.
Yeah, I think it might be, and this is just speculation, I don't know for sure, the article didn't say as far as I'm aware, but I think it might be because it's actually more integrated into the phone itself. Maybe if that tells you anything. Whereas I think if you had an app, I don't think it would meld as well. I don't know. That's kind of just a theory, but...
Well, I mean, even if it didn't have to be an app, I mean, just built into like deep in the developer settings or something. I don't know.
That's
really,
true.
I mean, who knows why it is that way, but yeah.
Yep.
That's nifty, though.
For sure.
Sticking with Google, they've made some changes to some of their services, first of which is adding a last viewed channel shortcut to YouTube TV. This, again, is one of those things where I'm wondering why it hasn't been implemented earlier than now, but
this is the question of the month for Google.
It is. I mean, it's just funny how we have all these different features that come in, and you're wondering, like, why wasn't this added, like, months or years ago? Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I'm glad it's there now, though. So they're adding that as time progresses. The next change is in the Play Store. They are testing this out where they would remove the perpetual search engine bar on top and instead add a search button on the bottom bar along where you see like games, books, and whatever.
Okay.
Tapping this button would bring you to a page where a plethora of suggested apps would appear along with the search engine bar on the top. So that's where you would see it. Yeah, I don't know. The last tweak, though, pertains to YouTube Music, where they will now be adding the count total for how many times it was played for each tracks, as well as the option where you can add or actually change playlist cover image to generative AI cover art. So that's pretty nifty.
Ooh. That last one's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because it's similar to what we can do with Apple Music, where you can change the cover of the playlist. This one I like better, though, because you can actually use generative AI and it's kind of funny how that works, because YouTube Music is using it for the images and Spotify is using it for the playlist. So I'm actually kind of surprised that Google isn't doing the same thing with playlists, but I'm sure that's probably to come soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I think I like the whole fluid way of utilizing the search bar there, making it just a button. I don't see a really issue with that. What was the second thing again?
Well, the first thing was the last viewed on YouTube TV, and the last thing was the you're talking about, they were adding in the total play count for
that's
tracks.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool, because I've always wanted to know. You always see how much like an artist has in their viewership, but you don't see how much a song has specifically. So
right. Exactly.
I'm in favor of that too. I don't see any issues with these at all. So
I agree. I'll take it one step further. I actually like the way that's done versus having Apple Music put a star next to it saying this is a popular song.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. I would rather see like the specific
viewership.
Not so much ratings, but plays, you know, like you were saying. Yeah, the viewership. So, yep.
So as we know, Google and Epic have been in a battle in court for a while now regarding whether it is legal or not for Google to have complete control over how Epic Games charges their customers on the Google Play Store. Well, the judges all agreed in favor of Epic Games. Now, this does not mean Google has lost just yet. The final decision will be made in January, so at the moment, all Google can do is appeal for the case and keep fighting. But until then, we will continue to update you guys on this case and how it goes.
I don't understand the extenuating circumstances, but what does this actually mean for Apple and Epic?
So that
kind of interesting.
The article that I read actually did refer to the whole thing between Apple and Epic. Okay. I think that if Epic wins this, which it looks like it's probably going to be, I think that there's a strong case that Apple may, in fact, be pushed back a little bit. It kind of makes sense, because I think Epic's whole argument is we want to have a little more freedom for all developers, not just us. This is their fight for everyone. And then, like you mentioned before, Google's argument is, well, we want to make sure our privacy for our consumers are better, which is obviously a crabby argument. That's literally what everyone's argument is for when they do something.
So
we
Apple's
just
argument has been
for Beeper, yeah. But I don't know. I would say that if Epic wins, I think they'll have a better, strong case. Well, if you let Google do it, if you let us do it for Google, why don't we let us do it for Apple? So it's kind of a domino effect, I would say. But yeah, that is a good question to ask.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, yeah, that's just something that popped up in my mind, because those are two situations there that you actually mentioned real quick. That I am really in favor of the developer between Beeper and
Me too.
Epic.
Yes.
yes, there's some concern. I mean, I can see where Google and Apple are coming from as far as security and trying to make sure things are, done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
There should be stipulations and stuff like that, but it's within reason. I mean, why should the two platforms have control, total dominance?
Yes.
And I like that Epic's fighting for this. So, and they've taken a long time to do that because I feel like that's been a while ago.
Yeah, it's been like 6 months, I think.
Well, even when it started back with Apple, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
Felt like that whole entire thing kind of just, cavalcaded into this. So.
Yep.
But I'm glad to see what the rulings have been. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not sure if many of you know this, as the whole Microsoft Activision deal steamrolled other news, but September of 2022, Adobe was looking to acquire a cloud-based designer company out of San Francisco called Figma. After months of attempting this acquisition and the EU reviewing the terms of the merger, both came to an agreement that there is no clear path to receive necessary regulatory approvals. And this is from the EU as well as the CMA in the United Kingdom. In addition to that, Adobe investors also felt that the company was aggressively overpaying for a company that was valued far less. So between the money to acquire the company and the negative statements from the regulatory, such as elimination of competition and reduction of innovation, both parties have ceased to pursue the deal, and Adobe will end up paying Figma $1 billion as a termination fee. So,
okay.
I don't even think did you know about this?
No, I don't even know what Figma is.
I tried to research a little bit about that. I mean, other than the fact that, like I said, they're a cloud-based designer platform, you can kind of see where that would fall into what Adobe is.
Okay.
Yeah, or what Adobe tries to do. So they're trying to further innovate. I don't know exactly how similar they are, or how you can compare it to other acquisitions like Microsoft or Activision. But yeah, so.
Well, I will say losing $1 billion is something no one wants to do, so.
Well, yeah.
Yup. Well, moving right along here, Hyundai is now collaborating with Kia to create a new kind of tire in hard, cold conditions. Essentially, this tire would have grooves in them for bars that would eject with the help of an electric current. If this works out, it would be a lot easier for people to actually drive more safely in snowy conditions, and they wouldn't have to worry about installing their own snow tires either, especially in those like icy, cold, crazy climates. Now, obviously, the technology really isn't where it needs to be, hence why you have two motor companies collaborating to build it. But it is an interesting concept nonetheless. All you would do is just press a button on your infotainment center and the bars would eject out of the grooves. Quite interesting, really. We will leave a link below for the video that kind of showcases that. It's kind of like a 2D visualizer, just so you guys can see how that would work. But yeah, I thought this was way too good to kind of pass up. But normally we have cars in our other episodes, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I got two things coming here.
Okay.
One, the first thing that made me kind of think of this, it reminds me of the Batmobile, something that could do, or maybe James Bond or something. I don't know. I'm curious to know how much these things would cost. The other interesting part to this is, you said Hyundai is working in collaboration with Kia?
Yes.
Which is really kind of funny, because why don't they just say the Hyundai Motor Group, because they own both Hyundai and Kia? But okay.
Well, it states that Hyundai Motor Company and Kia Corporation unveiled it. So
okay, so they all right.
Yeah, I know it's a little weird because I know they are under the same company, but I just
umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that is a good question as well, because I bet you these tires are going to be very expensive, not just to produce but also to export as well, because of what's in there. And obviously, once you have to make a profit off of it, so they're going to be even more expensive by the time that they're actually fully functional and fledged out.
I'm curious about longevity, components inside working or fouling. There's a lot, and like you were saying, the technology probably isn't there just yet, and that's why they're investing so much to research and develop this. But
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that, and quite frankly, that's probably because I wasn't really thinking about something like that. But
you weren't thinking about what?
I wasn't thinking about tires that would eject bars to help with traction.
No, I mean, I wasn't even thinking that was what I was going to find, but it turns out that some car companies just want to really invent some stuff this year, so. But
I guess so. Anyway, so Riley, if I were to give you an option between a full-priced AirPods 3 and a desirably discounted AirPods 2, which would you choose?
It depends on how much the 2s were discounted at.
I don't really have a number in mind. It's just more of a
pretty discounted, like.
Yeah. I mean, just probably some that you've already seen from various retailers.
Do
you have the 3s or the 2s, by the way?
I had the 3s, but I got them off of a retail site that probably shouldn't have trusted. They came in and they're not that great. So, I mean, they're Apple, but they don't really work like how I like them. So, you know what? Because I'm frustrated with that, because I'm still salty about it, I'm going to go with the 2. The discounted 2. Yeah.
Well, therein lies the conflicting matter for Apple's sales, and evidently they have a fix for this coming in 2024. The AirPods 4 are rumored to come next year, but in 2 variants that would more attractively entice users based on not just the lower price, but features as well.
Okay.
Now, for starters, we expect an updated case that would obviously include USB-C and Find My speakers found on the Pros 2.
Nice.
I'm not entirely sure if the latter would be only for the more expensive model. I personally am a big, advocate of they should be on anything that's Apple to help you find it.
Agreed. Yeah.
Next, we expect the design to sport shorter stems that would be a melding between the current AirPods design and the Pro series. Not much is clear as to whether Apple would add ear tips, although improved fit is anticipated. And here's the final clincher. Active noise cancellation is expected to be on the more premium option, giving users a lower entry level product to ANC buds from Apple. So,
okay, I do like that.
Analysts are expecting the next gen AirPods to be released sometime next fall. So,
when was the 3rd gen released? Just to refresh.
2021.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So 2 years.
2022, 2023, 2024. Okay.
Okay, so 3 years. I would say if it took them this long to make the 4th generation, it better be, pretty high up there in good quality and, what they have to offer. And as for the 2 different options, I guess I'm okay with that. I feel like we're starting to get to that whole area of so many options for one thing.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to add the 3 and you're going to add the 3 and keep the 2, then you're essentially doing the same thing by adding a higher premium level 4 and a lower premium level 4. So,
oh yeah, that's true.
The whole entire 4 series itself is supposed to replace the 3 and the 2.
Okay.
The interesting thing, though, is that the 2s came out in 2019. So 2019, 2020, 2021. I think we're probably in that range of, it's time to see an upgrade.
Oh, yeah. Refresher.
And the fact that they're trying to add ANC, I'm kind of, again, this goes back to the tips. I'm interested to see how that will unfold just because.
Right. The tips
we've seen how. Yes, exactly. We've seen how Samsung has done it with some of their buds where they don't actually add the tips, but they offer ANC.
Yeah.
I don't know. When it comes to fit and finish, that's the biggest reason why I went to the AirPods Pro 2s. was because the tips were more comfortable and the fit was better.
And the ANC was thereby much better because of the tips.
Killer. Yes, it was absolutely, well, it was there to begin with as far as the pros.
Yeah.
And I was totally willing to spend that money to get that kind of feel and such. And they really are amazing. I was very impressed by them, and I still am, and I still use them. I was actually shocked because I was expecting the Pro 2s to be just another AirPods that cause me ear fatigue and stuff like that. And they've been everything but disappointing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten, like, in between trying to choose between the Pro, and this is kind of a side comment here, in between trying to choose the Pro and the base models, for me it was always hard because I never trusted the tips. I know you find them good, as you know, they're very ergonomic, they're really good with sound and quality and ANC. But for me, it's always been more of a comfort because the actual earbuds, the base gen ones, I felt like they always fit into my ear very well. And I've always had an issue with tips as well. So I feel like, in my opinion, if they could somehow, and I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode, if they could somehow make ANC but without the tips, I think you might find a lot more people heading towards that direction. Because that's me. Like, I struggle with that kind of thing all the time, with trying to find earbuds that fit me, but I don't want to have tips, because then you have to remove them, clean them, and it's a whole mess for me. And maybe you find it easier, but yeah, that's how my thought.
It's a 2-part series for me here. The one part is that, yes, to provide high quality ANC, you need the tips.
Yes, agreed.
So this point for you would be they probably won't have tips.
Yeah.
Because that would evoke, a stronger ANC, and you probably want to save that for the higher
It's a hot take, but
Pro
yeah.
2s and Pro 3s. Exactly. So there's that side to it. The other side, though, and I guess it's really more of a, catch-22, because you're someone who doesn't like tips. I do like tips.
Yeah.
I also like tips, not just for the feeling and the comfort, the fact that, we've talked about this before, where it has the mesh at the bottom to protect the actual
That is
bud
something I kind of
cracking in it.
appreciate, yes.
So there's all this stuff that's going on as far as, preferences, specifications on these buds, and I can see both sides, really. I mean, I understand where you're coming from totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what's coming down the line as far as the AirPods, and quite frankly, I don't really have anything that's iffy or that I don't really like. Like I said, the only thing that I really hope happens is that Find My is on both of them, as far as being able to read those, because I have used that
almost
on my AirPods
necessary at this
multiple
point.
times. Yeah, absolutely. But in either case, that will do it for this week's episode. This is JD and Riley, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Peace out.